Thank you, Senator Shaheen. Senator Ernst, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and gentlemen, thank you very much for your service to our country. General Clark, to you and Suzanne, and Chief Smith, to you and Tina, thank you very much for your collaborative effort in supporting our SOF warriors and their teams. There's no doubt that our Special Operations Forces are the most capable of military elements on the globe, and of course our cyber forces, General Nakasone, are essential to the defense of this nation. And we have to ensure that both of these elements are fully resourced and modernized to defeat the current threats to our national security. So, General Clark, health of the force is the fifth pillar in your command, and it ties into directly the first soft truth, which is humans are more important than hardware. I think we all believe that. And I, like you, want to make sure that we're providing our service members with the best care possible. So can you talk through SOCOM's efforts focused on brain and behavioral health for our service members and, of course, for their loved ones as well?
Hey, thank you, Senator. Our people are our most precious resource, and we got to put the resources behind that to ensure they're taken care of. Specifically, the Brain Health Initiative, falling within the preservation of the force and family, is one of the critical things we do. We focused initially on the physical domain because that's what you could see. But what we were finding is through the invisible wounds that some of our warriors might, TBI. Multiple explosions, multiple breaches, and proximity to those explosions is having an impact. And so we're working very closely. I recently went up with Chief Greg Smith up to Boston, where we were working with Mass General and a couple academic departments and universities up there to look at how we can do imaging that previously we could not do except on a cadaver. And this may be groundbreaking for us to be able to determine beforehand what some of our operators may be going through. And so, as you are well aware, we stood up an additional pillar within our preservation of the force and family, specifically towards the cognitive domain, because we realize that this is the most important part for our people is their what's inside their brain housing group, that they can make the right decisions, and it affects everything they do. So we're going to continue working to improve our operators and their families' lives.
I appreciate that, sir. So important. And you brought up the preservation of the force and family, as did ASD Solik Mayor. But how can we take this program and sustain improvements in how our military approaches sustaining those SOF operators? Again, just focused on POTF. How do we sustain and improve?
So the key for us is the sustained funding that we need in order to do that. We have many, and most of that funding actually attributes to the people that we have to support the preservation of the force and family program.
Thank you. And just very briefly as well, I want to talk a little bit about your operational posture, General Clark. So I am frustrated by a number of mobilizations within terror networks, whether it's Russia and China across Africa, what we see in South America, Eastern Europe, all these hot zone conflicts that are currently ongoing. What does supporting your unfunded requirement list, or what I like to think of as a risk assessment list, buy us in these particular theaters?
Senator, what it provides us, if we find support for the unfunded, it buys down risk because we're able to modernize faster, and then we are also to ensure readiness, that we're placing the appropriate dollars towards those unfunded requirements. We'll buy some of that back.
And for me, Mr. Chair, that's extremely important that we're able to focus on these unfunded requirements because they are so important within the area of SOCOM, and making sure that we are taking one of our smallest, most agile elements and being able to use them as a force multiplier. So thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, gentlemen, very much for being here today.
Thank you very much, Senator Ernst. The vote has commenced, and as I indicated at the beginning of the hearing, and with the concurrence of Senator Inhofe, we will recess for approximately 10